Back in 1953, a story from the Railway series book, The Three Railway Engines, was adapted into a television episode for the BBC. Today I'll be telling you what's known about the episode, why almost nothing from all that was used on the episode survives, and how you can watch it today. So, we shall be starting off with what's known about the episode, and a special thanks to Thomas the Tank Engine Wikipedia, as this is the reason we can easily find out about the production. So, in May of 1953, Frida Lindstrom, who at the time was in charge of the BBC's children's television department, approached the at the time Railway series editor, Eric Marriott, who worked for Edmund Ward, with the intention of getting the rights to adapt 2 of the Railway series stories for TV. Meccano, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that, Ltd, who manufactures the Hornby locomotives for the episodes, supplied 3 Aero-scale Duchess of Atholl models, and Douglas Mair bought an N2 tank engine, which were first into the publisher's office in Leicester, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that, to be suitably adapted by P.R. Wickham in order for them to better resemble the engines from the illustrations. He repainted 2 of the engines. These were likely Gordon and Henry, while the other 2 were rebuilt from balsa wood. These were likely Edward and James. Much to Meccano's surprise, they had only approved of the faces being added. Wickham also built a set using the layout provided based on C. Reginald Delby's illustrations. On June 10th, Eric Marriott delivered the modified models to Lime Grove Studios in London, where possibly both episodes were due to be filmed. Eric was greatly disappointed to see that the set for the sad story of Henry was not ready for the transmission. The producers displayed him a collection of railway sound effects that were going to be used for both episodes. However, please take both episodes with a grain of salt. We only know that the sad story of Henry was set to be transmissioned in Lime Grove Studios during the BBC's Children Hour on the 14th and 28th of June 1953. In offering of £1 per minute. In order for the story to fit into the 10-minute time slot, R.G. Wilford, the BBC's copyright department, pointed out that the stories required adapting. These episodes were going to be narrated by Julia Lang. The episode was transmitted live from Lime Grove Studios. As reported, and is the most common knowledge of this production, an engine, most likely Henry, derailed due to a set of points not being set correctly, and a crew member's hand was seen derailing the engine. Reverend Wilbur Awdry, author of the Railway series, who watched the broadcasts, complained about the jerky model railway operation, the elementary mistake, as he described the derailment, as well as a freely adapted script required to fill in the 10-minute time slot. On the 23rd of June 1953, the story appeared in an article in the day's edition of the Daily Mail. It was entitled, "What a Way to Run a Railway," and according to Wilbur Awdry, became a matter of almost national concern. The story soon spread, and Wilbur Awdry sent an ultimatum to the BBC, in which he complained how poorly the story had been adapted. Awdry wanted assurance that the second broadcast would not have any mistakes of similar nature. Cecil McGibbon, head of programmes at the time for the BBC, agreed with Awdry's comments and dubbed the entire end of hour pathetic. These complaints, combined with the negative media attention, resulted in the next episode being delayed, and soon the show was cancelled. The next episode was quickly replaced with a programme called John Glyn Jones Tells a Story. So unfortunately, only a photograph survives, and it isn't from the production, but of James's model from the episode. The characters we know of that appeared was Henry, Edward, James and Sir Topham Hatt, and the only location we know of, yet there is probably more, was Henry's tunnel. So how can you watch it today? You can't. No surviving footage, photographs of the episode, the audio or even telesnaps exist. You might be asking, what is a telesnap? This upcoming information is from Tardis Wiki. Well, telesnaps were created by John Cura, and in 1947 he sent a letter to the BBC offering what he called telesnaps, which were still photographs taken at various points during a programme's broadcasts. His basic method was simple: point a 35mm camera at a television and shoot. Cura normally would take around 60 photographs for a half-an-hour episode, and provided these on a contact sheet to the BBC or other interested buyers. Cura's process was unique, which is why the word telesnaps applied solely to his work. Two things made his services unique: his camera practice and his providing of contact sheets of entire episodes. His camera and his practice of providing contact sheets of entire episodes, His camera took images at the speed of 1/25 of a second to standard PAL frame rate, and he had his camera set to an unknown focal length, so it would appear slightly blurry to the operator, but stood a better chance of counteracting the convex nature of early television screens. These two things meant he was able to capture individual frames of a program with each click, whereas his rivals, at least initially, couldn't. Thus their waste rate was much higher than his, meaning he got a much higher percentage of good images of each show. So with that telesnaps section over, why wasn't there any telesnaps at the very least John Cura made? Why wasn't there any telesnaps? At the very least, John Cura made his offer 6 years before the episode was even broadcast. We know he was working with ITV in the 50s, sending them telesnaps. Well, the reason was due to the BBC only accepting it in 1964, after they asked for a review of the Tele-Snap service, which they ended up accepting, which does seem obvious, since we have telesnaps of the missing Doctor Who serial Marco Polo, which aired during 1964, plus legal issues meant he couldn't have taken the telesnaps, so we have no visual records, and if there was, we know his wife, after his death in 1963, offered a telesnap collection to the BBC, which they declined, which had hundreds of thousands of telesnaps included, which could have contained, but unlikely, the sad story of Henry original. But even if it did, we know his wife burnt them, so it would no longer exist if there was a visual record of the telesnaps for it. So there's also no audio surviving of the episode, so even if there was telesnaps of it and they did survive, there wouldn't be any audio to go alongside with it for a reconstruction. So reconstruction wouldn't be fully possible without going to make new audio and a new script, since we don't know where the script ended up. However, it's not all bad. Some fans who's attempted to recreate the episode, most notably SodorsNWRstream, who remade the episode and released it in May of 2020. While it isn't fully accurate due to including characters that weren't part of the production, we know it is a brilliant remake of the production, and in my opinion it's a superior way to watch the episode. Thank you all for watching. This is a very important part of Thomas's history, due to it being the first attempt to televise the Railway series. Now, not everything I said is accurate, and it likely never will be, unless we find a way to create a time machine. There isn't really that many recreations of the episode, and the reason why I said James, Edwards, Gordon and Henry on the models was due to Edward, Henry and James being confirmed as the models being created for the episode alongside Sir Topham, and the next episode was apparently about James, but I thought it might have been Edward, Henry and Gordon. I recommend going to the Thompson Friends Wikipedia link in the description. You can see the James photograph and a lot more of the news articles there. And sorry for going, and sorry if I kept on flundering over to some of the lines. Sometimes it's some of the names were hard. I couldn't quite figure out how to pronounce, and this is where I go off script. This is the part where I'm going off the script now. I don't usually go by scripts, but yeah, sorry if I kept on flundering over the lines. It was not intentional. It's just just struggled at it at parts. Now back into the script. Anyway, have a good rest of your day or night or evening or dawn. Bye.